Alright guys, we are here in the lab, aka my apartment, aka the gym, because I live at the gym because there's no better place to be. And if you want to be good, you go where the work is. Work is at the gym. Okay, we're going to be talking about nutrition here. Okay, one of the best things I ever did was took a basic human nutrition class in college. Nutrition is the dark black hole of the fitness community. There's so much misinformation and there's so much lack of understanding because there's been so many new studies that have come out, things recently. Fat is not bad for you. Sodium does not affect your blood pressure. Just there's been some things that people have gotten wrong for a long time in the medical community and frankly are just behind on. So I'm here to clear the mud between the advertisement, the medical community, the bro science, the ads. Here to make sense of it with some science. Easiest way. It all starts with you understanding the difference between your macronutrients and your micronutrients because everything you eat is split up into those two categories. Micronutrients are your vitamins and minerals. Your macros, your carbs, fat, and protein. Good job! Why do you ask? Why is this important, right? Because these are going to determine how much energy you have, whether you build or lose muscle, whether you gain weight, lose weight. Your caloric intake, which is tied directly to your macros, and I'll explain why. For carbs and fat, for each 1 gram, I'll write this out for you, 1 gram of each equals 4 calories equals 9 calories equals 4 calories. I think alcohol is 7 calories per gram if I remember right. 449. Okay. So let's say I eat something that's 100 calories. You took in energy. Okay, those calories are, well, you didn't take energy. You took in food, which is converted to energy. But let's say you have 100 calories, you split it up, it's going to be split up among these. So, looking at these guys. Let's say you take a label on anything. Take a label on a candy bar, take a label on some peanut butter, take anything you have, it's going to be split up into these 3 things. If it has energy, if it has calories, it has these guys. So that's important. So if you look at an energy drink, you don't actually produce any energy from it because if it's 0 calorie, you're not getting anything out of it. Right? There's no actual macronutrient. There might be vitamins in it from micronutrients that help you produce energy from your body that you have stored. That's entirely possible. Some different B vitamins and different things, and you have some caffeine, which is a stimulant, but it doesn't actually give you energy. You have to have a micronutrient in order to get that calorie. Okay? Why is this important? Because when you are eating for performance, which is what athletes do, or if you're eating to lose weight, okay? Here's how you lose weight. I'm gonna break it down real easy. I'm gonna take it's just science right here. Let's say we take in 2,500 calories. Okay. Let's say that's our so that's our BMR. That's a nerd word. Basal. your metabolic rate. Okay. It's how many calories you need to survive for that day. For me, it's actually kind of high. It's like 2,700 to 2,900. Okay. But let's say it's 2,500 calories, and you intake for that day 2,400. You burned 100 calories for that day. That's how many you burned. You're getting smaller. You're losing weight. If you eat more than 2,500, unless you have 100 extra, you're gaining weight. That's just it, right there. That's how you lose weight or gain weight. Now, there's a lot of other stuff that goes into that because metabolism is a theory, not a law. You can slow your metabolism and you can increase your metabolism. So that 2,500, if I cut it down by 100, cut it down by 100, and keep going, keep going, keep going, your body will not respond the same way and can plateau and different things like that. Not going to get into that too much because this is about our macros right now. But that's kind of free for today. That's extra. Okay, that's how you gain and lose weight. Okay. Your macros are going to dictate how much energy you have through the day. And here's why. Your carb is your gasoline. Your body likes to run off of it. 40 to 50% of everything I eat is carbs. Some people do better on higher carbs, some people do better on lower carb, but you need carbs, not the enemy. Okay? They're going to stay in your system for about an hour. If you eat a banana, probably going to be hungry in an hour. Okay? Especially if you're lifting, you're going to be hungry all the time because your body's still repairing itself from your previous workout. That's another discussion. Your protein, we'll move to that one too. About 2 hours. Okay, have a little carbs and fat, sit in your tummy for about 2 hours. Add fats, That's like the log you put on last on the fire, trying to get it to last for a while. You're looking at 3 hours. Okay? Well, you're saying, Taylor, well, I had a balanced meal and it had carbs, fat, and protein. How long is that going to sit in my system? About 4 hours. Here's why I'm not a big proponent of intermittent fasting. Because anytime you go past 4 hours, you're going to need some more nutrients if you want to perform well. For someone like me that hits split routines every day, or not every day, but quite a few days out of the week where I both lift and box, kind of important because when I'm eating for performance, I want to make sure I'm fueled throughout the day. Okay? So you say, well, why is any of this important? Well, let's say you're getting ready to work out, or you have a game coming up, game day. You want to have some carbs about an hour beforehand. Okay, let them sit 45 minutes, an hour before. Have half a banana, maybe protein bar, because really protein bars, if you look at the back, are carb bars. They're carb bars. They advertise protein bars. They have like 7 grams of protein, like 30 grams of carbs. That's a carb bar. No ifs, ands, or who's or buts about it. It's a carb bar. And so we have some oatmeal, something like that. So you're looking at carbs, right? That's what we're looking at. That's your fuel source before your game. Now, what you don't want to do is go down a whole meal that has carbs, fat, and protein. Because guess what? That's still sitting around in your tummy game day. No bueno. Don't want that. Right? So this is where eating for performance comes in, because you want to make sure you're timing things correctly. Okay. Now, another misconception. It doesn't matter when you eat throughout the day. We're going to put that to rest right now. You can eat all of your food right before you go to bed, and as long as you are still at a caloric deficit, you'll lose weight. What's a caloric deficit, Taylor? Remember your BMR I was telling you about, your metabolic rate? Okay. If that is 2,400 calories, if you take in 2,400 calories, doesn't matter when, but you burn 2,500 calories that day, doesn't matter if you eat right before you go to bed, you're not going to gain weight. You will still lose weight. Put it to sleep right there. Boom. Done. Figuratively and non-figuratively. Okay, moving on. So here's what we need to know about our carbs. I don't look at food as good or bad. I look at it for how is it for our performance. What we don't do is look at food as good or bad. It is either going to help us in performance or not help us in performance. So let's talk about carbs. Okay, what makes a carb good? Well, you have different kinds of carbs. They get broken down into some different kinds of sugars and some different things like that. So here's the thing. One of the biggest things to look for when you look at total sugar / carb content is how much fiber's in it. Because let's say you down a Pepsi and it has the same amount of carbs as your apple. I don't know if that's actually true. I'm just using it as comparison. Let's say they have the same amount of sugar. That Pepsi's going to go through immediately. You're going to get a huge blood spike and you're going to crash. But you have your apple. It's going to bring your energy up a little bit. It's going to hold and then drop off. Now, why is that? That's because of fiber. Your fiber is basically like, okay, let's give you little bits. Otherwise, you just have a spike. Your fiber content is very important to consider when you're eating carbs. Okay. So now your next thing, protein. Okay. A lot of times, protein and fats are going to come in pairs. If you have something that has protein in it, it's also going to have fat. Totally fine. My ratio for these, by the way, when I'm starting someone off, is it's going to be sneaky. I'm not going to show you quite yet. Here we go. It's going to be about 40-50% carbs, 25% fat, 25% protein. Fats are not your enemy. Protein's awesome. It's good. You got to have some. Okay, got to repair those muscles, keep your body going. Fats, let's talk about those real quick, because a lot of people are on the anti-fat train. You have to have fat. You don't have fat, eventually you're going to go blind, actually, because your eyes have to have fat, so there's that. But you have different kinds of fats. Ones you want to try to stay away from are hydrogenated and trans fats. Hydrogenated, they just like blast them with, I think it's hydrogen atoms. They bond together, there's a chain. Been a little while since college, but basically the trans and the saturated are not too bad. The MUFAs and PUFAs are the best. Hydrogenated, the trans, the ones I stay away from. None of that vegetable oil nonsense. What we're going for is the MUFA, which stands for monounsaturated fatty acids, and PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acids. Those are the good ones. So, easy way to do it, eat some avocados, cook everything in coconut and avocado oil. Boom, done. You'll probably get 25% real easy if you cook everything in coconut oil. Pretty easy for me. I'll get about 15-20%. My other 5-10% will come with the rest of the meat I eat, because usually, like I said, they come in pairs depending on how lean it is. A lot of my burger has about 3% fat, and that's how I get my extra amount. Okay. So that's what we're looking for with these guys. What we don't want to do is go, oh, low carb. I walked into a doctor's office and they told my fiance she needed to drop all carbs, go high protein, low fat. Just about strangled her. No idea what she was talking about. So none of that nonsense. Okay. For performance, that's what we're looking for right here. Okay. Your micronutrients are going to be things like your vitamin A, your V vitamin, so your fat soluble and your water soluble vitamins. Now we don't need to get into that. Okay. Just talking about these guys. Okay. Mucho bueno importante. Don't speak Spanish, but very important. As you're going through these guys, what we want to consider is, as we're going through, how many times per day do I feel good eating? I prefer 5 smaller meals. I have a hard time with breakfast, so usually I go a little bit longer throughout the day. I don't intermittent fast, but I have a hard time with that one, so my first meal is real small. Here's why I'm opposed to meal plans. Because a meal plan is, hey, eat this. Okay, but you don't know why you're eating it or when you're supposed to eat it or what your food is broken up into. So what I prefer is I use this free app, MyFitnessPal. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't know the peoples. I just use the app a lot. A lot of people in the fitness community do. Take the app. It's an Under Armour app. You download it to your smartphone. You can scan in everything you eat anywhere you go. If you don't have a barcode scanner, you enter it in pretty much every restaurant, every fruit, everything imaginable. They have serving size, the amount. It's real simple. Then it's logged into your phone. You can go back to recents, hit that. If you eat the same thing over a couple days, it's magical. The reason why that's important is because as you're tracking, you're like, how in the world am I supposed to track my macros? Ugh. Ooh, sore, man, that workout was rough last couple of days. It's going to spit out a pie chart of fats, carbs, and protein. And it's really simple, does all the math for you. That's why MyFitnessPal is so helpful. So here's what I do with my clients. I have them download the app. I have them track what they're eating for about a week. If they can remember to, usually I have to remind them. And we're going to take a look at that chart. And we're going to see how they feel. And then we're going to start modifying these ratios. Because some people's bodies do better on higher protein. Some people's bodies do better on higher carbs. So we slowly start to work out this proportion because everybody's different. Okay? And when we get it figured out, then they can start choosing foods accordingly in order to fit within that ratio. Much better than me handing you a meal plan and saying eat this, because you might not know why you're eating it and your stomach might be upset or you might not perform as well and you don't know why. My biggest thing is I want to educate people so that they can learn what's best for them and not me telling them what to do. Because what works for my body does not work for everyone else's body. Like I said, I eat a lot of carbs. I run really well off of carbs. I perform exceptionally well. Give me an example. I went to a Taekwondo event. I fought at the LMA Open in Renton, Washington. Okay, fought in juniors and seniors, so I was 17, so I got to fight the kids and the men's. Totally forgot to bring food. Had some gas station JoJo's, potato base. Some of the best fighting I've ever done. I won both divisions. It was great because my body does really well off potatoes. Okay. I run well off that carb. It works really well for me. Had no idea. Okay, but now I do. So some people are not going to run as well off that carb. So you need to find what works good for you and then apply it to your performance. So it's a trial and error process. Now this is irregardless of all different sorts of conditions and dietary restrictions that you might have or your doctor might have given you. This is just looking at the straight science of carbs, fat, and protein. So that's very, very key to understanding what you eat, when you eat, why you eat it. Like I said, you guys, if you have any questions on this kind of stuff, drop it down in that discussion box. I'm totally willing to work with you, help walk you through this. You hit me on Facebook at Taylor Reed, or you can hit me on Facebook at Beast Athletes Fight Promotions, or on Instagram at Montana Taekwondo Fighter, or of course through Skillshare, which I absolutely love. Hit me up, you guys. Love to help you with.